UK services, Lavarzi and Who1.co.uk present the 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast.
Hello and welcome to the 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast, episode 571. I'm Adam and I'm the Doctor. You're nuts and I'm going to stop you. And here's, yes, it's Robert Haynes. Why has it suddenly gone very quiet?
I don't know.
Robert, have you got a quote? Was he so excited to hit mute again?
No, it was actually.
Oh, God,
Okay.
that really messed up the start of the show.
I'm Robert Haynes.
Ouch.
So we waited 3.5 hours, messed up the start of the show for you to say that. So I should be saying that. Anyway,
Ouch.
Debbie Melrose.
Strax, you're overexcited. Have you been eating Miss Jenny's sherbet fancies again?
No. And Kirby Bartlett Sloan.
Oh, I once spent a hell of a long time trying to get a Gabby Australian to Heathrow Airport. Braveheart, Clara.
No, I thought you'd pick up on that bit. That was a real anorak.
Gobby Australian,
line,
I like that. What a great way.
Anyway, and Gobby Australia appears in Doctor Who a few years after this episode, ironically
Yes.
in some ways. Anyway, right, on the live feed, yes, we have Die Hard Fan. Lillian Robin, in fact, to be precise, who
lovely
says,
Lillian.
hi. She says, hi. Yes, I bothered to turn up on time this week. Oh, no, she didn't say that. I just added that bit in for a laugh. And then, guest in the background. She's referring to Owen and Isabella, who were leaving the house during that little bit where I was saying, if you dropped your phone, etc., etc., Kirby. It was them I was talking to, not you. And then, get on with it. So, I hadn't started the show, Lillian. We have full licence to do what we like before I actually introduce the show. Terry Mars says, hi, everyone. And then, I've never seen Die Hard.
What?
Nor have I, actually. I've seen clips of it many a time. Alan Rickman's in it and some bloke, Roose Billis.
It's me of a Christmas movie. You've got to watch it.
No, I know what's happened. I used to have the video game where you blast people to smithereens a lot.
I've never seen it. I remember there was a Rick and Morty based on it.
Rigor Mortis.
I've got a video game.
Rigor mortis.
Anyway, by the way, there won't be a show next week because I've got a convention to organise. And the following week's show might be... I don't know what's happening then either. But I've got if I can get the audio from the convention sorted out, then that will be the next show. So we'll have lots of non-Doctor Who people on a Doctor Who podcast. Isn't that ironic?
So we will next record on the 29th.
Yeah, which is going to be a bit tricky for you, Kirby. Do you know why that might be a little bit tricky for you? The 29th of October?
Because you have time change.
That's correct. It's going to be fun, isn't it?
What? I'll figure it out. Now you're
going to figure it out. Okay.
There is a silent film that day, but I'm not going to it because I've seen it.
Right. Okay. So yes. So today it's the Crimson Horror, and we're not going to go into that just because one character in the show calls it Aura, and that character's it's been misplaced because it's up north.
My husband was like, you can tell this is set up north because your Yorkshire accent came back.
Yeah, but the bloke who said Crimson Aura is not from Yorkshire.
Horror.
Crimson Aura.
Aura.
The Crimson Horror. That's it. You cannot help it.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, as I say, the bloke who says Crimson Aura is obviously not from Yorkshire. He's just sort of got into this production so they could do that little joke.
Nod to the London accent.
Yeah. So probably so they could have one line in the show that the Americans can understand. Anyway, Yorkshire, 1893.
Bradford.
Very beautifully rendered partially by special computer stuff, but it's quite nice as the camera pans
You mean
up through.
special effects?
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Anyway, so you see this scene at the beginning of the story where this bloke snogs this blonde woman, and then he sort of goes off into a corridor. Of course, this scene's explained later. At the beginning of this, it's a bit, what's going on here? Because I didn't quite pick up what's going on. He goes off, walks through a door where there's an alarmingly reddy, orangey sort of thing in the window, and then
A light?
Yeah, Dame Judi Dench. No, Dame Diana Rigg rocks up and says,
What the hell?
What's that noise? What's that noise? Anyway, so apologises for the death of her husband, or I think essentially that's what she's saying. And she said, well, he's not dead, he's only just gone through that door, of course, and he comes out.
He's getting better.
Yeah. And
I'm not dead yet.
and then we meet Mr. Crimson Horror himself. Is that him? I can't remember anyway.
Yes.
And even in the subtitles it says it's the Crimson Horror, not Horror. So, just saying, Kirby. And
we'll see about that. We'll see what my subtitle says.
Whatever. It says Crimson Horror.
Crimson Horror.
Anyway, I'll skip through that little bit.
Oh, it says horror. Darn.
No, it doesn't say horror darn. It says horror. So next, I presume this mustachioed gentleman's a bit of a sort of a detective or a
What, the one that keeps
police
fainting?
officer. Yeah, the fainty bloke. Yeah. Maybe
I
he's
like
got,
him.
maybe like me, he's got low blood pressure and occasionally.
It did
fall
seem
over.
like low blood pressure,
Yeah,
didn't it?
He did have a.
He's not a
section-
detective. He's investigating the death of his brother.
So he's being a detective temporarily. Then.
Yes.
Right, okay. Anyway, he comes to see the very poorly disguised Madame Vastra, who you can quite clearly see is a lizardy woman through her veil.
Can't they see through the bloody veil?
They see what they want to see. That's what she said in
Oh,
past
she
episode.
did, Debbie. That hasn't
Sorry?
happened for a while, is it? I'm impressed. I certainly have to say that Jenny has a certain weird, I can't work it out, sexiness about her.
Well, the
Still not
doctor
been able to work
certainly
it out.
finds that.
Yeah, I don't know, something. she's got something radiant about it, even
Beautiful,
though
she's got
you can't
charisma.
see in your. She's got charisma. You can't see in your eyes where it is, but she's got it. And then we see some photos of the gentleman who went a bit, got a bit. Shall we say? Got a bit embarrassed because he's looks at.
Not embarrassed.
He's very embarrassed. He got embarrassed to death, and then of course. Madame Vestra is sort of, is it Vestra or Vastra? I can't remember.
Vastra.
Vastra. Handed a note in which she needs to pull her veil up to read, and of course the first episode of fainting from our mustachioed friend occurs. But just before then, has anyone noted, just before then he was sat down in a chair? And I know he potentially handed the note over, but where's the chair gone? Because he just falls flat on his back. Somebody pulled the chair away, like one of those pranks they used to do at school, you know. You're just going to sit down, someone will kick the leg of the chair away.
I noticed that, and I'm supposed to be the one who nitpicks.
Doesn't he stand up to give her the photo?
He does, but where's the chair gone? He only stood up to give it. What?
Adam. Ding!
Oh, thank you. Anyway, I was just thinking, right, because at school, where they used to do that, there's a couple of things you used to do at school with chairs and stuff. One was rub your feet on the carpet and then electrocute the person next to you.
That was one of my favourites, yeah.
The other thing they used to do with the chair was kick it away just as your friend was calling out, and then get told off by the teacher saying, oh, you could break their back by doing that, and stuff like that.
Well, maybe they're
the only thing that was going to get broken is everybody's sides from laughing so much, really. And the other thing you could do with the school chairs at Sonar Middle School was you could scrape your fingernails across and make farting noises. I didn't bother, I just did normal farts. Anyway, right.
Did you know you could take a house key against some piano strings and sound like the TARDIS?
We didn't have a piano you could fiddle with.
Well, because piano's not a fiddle, is it? It's a piano. I know it's got strings, Debbie, but...
That note was a photo? What?
I thought it was a photo that he gives him of the
Yeah, it
brother.
was.
Oh, yeah, and they go into a dark room and they develop some pictures, and because it was all to do with the eye holds the image of the
Romany legend that if you see the last thing you see will be in your eyes.
Yes. So essentially, they develop these pictures, and then of course the Doctor is the image
Crimson
within the
Horror.
eye. Yeah. And then after about 5 hours, the title sequence rolls in. And God, the highlight of these episodes is, of course, Strax.
Sweetville's proprietor holds recruitment drives for her little community.
I did notice, actually, with some of these scenes, that the makeup of Vastra was a bit ropey.
Jenny. If this weak and fleshy boy is to represent us, I strongly advise the issuing of scissor grenades, limbo vapor, and triple blast brain splitters.
Yes, anything. I don't have enough Strax in Doctor Who these days, do we? Yeah. So yeah, I'm sorry. I just picked up that.
Well, there's Master.
Where he
No,
threatens
it's not
the
the
horse
Master.
later.
Yes. But he says he already shot 3 of them.
There are rumors that since we've got the new production team, that there will be several spin-offs, not only a unit spin-off, but the Paternoster gang may finally get their show.
That's guaranteed to make Tom watch an episode of the Paternoster gang.
Don't see the need for
Big
spin-offs.
Finish.
Don't see the need, apart from maybe bringing back John Barrowman for a Torchwood spin-off would be quite good. Yes. Anyway, so
Wasn't Torchwood a spin-off though?
Yeah, exactly.
that's what I mean. A Torchwood spin-off being Torchwood. You know, shut up. Anyway, so meanwhile they're in a courtroom and Dame Diana Rigg is sort of asking for volunteers to join her little
Sweetville.
weirdo gang, and then we meet her blind daughter who.
Played by her real-life daughter, Rachel Sterling.
I didn't know that.
Hopefully she didn't blind her real-life daughter.
I didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah, that's her real-life daughter, Rachel Sterling.
Yeah, you've said that once. You don't get an extra
know
point for
that.
saying it twice, Deb.
I was just saying it for Robert.
No, he did hear that.
I know that.
Or he could have listened to the podcast back and got it then anyway. So point
Yeah,
deducted.
because I've certainly brought it in. Actually, Robert, you can't listen to the podcast 10 years ago.
Why?
It's not on the server.
Yes, Kirby expects me to drop everything to find an episode from God knows
Yes,
when and try and
apparently you
upload
have
it.
to.
Last time he did that, the episode was online. It just for some reason wasn't connecting to the play button. Anyway, so we meet Dame Diana Rigg's actual daughter while they're roping. Of course, Jenny decides to sort of volunteer to try and infiltrate this strange society of whatnots, and that's what she does.
That girl in the queue who we probably won't get in because of her teeth.
Oh yeah, which didn't look like someone painted them with a black marker pen, didn't they? To be fair. No,
Or she'd had some of that stuff that you have to put on your teeth to show where you're not brushing them.
I used to hate that stuff. I hated that stuff.
They make it tropical
Never
fruit
had that.
flavour now. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, did you just drop an H?
No.
I do quite frequently.
Well, at least it's not dropping T's like Americans. Well, Americans change T's to
I
G's,
speak
don't
very,
they?
very received pronunciation until I slip into Estuary or Yorkshire.
Yeah, but Americans drop T's and turn them into G's, and people from London, or certain parts of London and Essex, drop T's altogether. What's wrong with a nice tea? I do like it, especially Yorkshire tea. It's particularly nice. Anyway.
Yorkshire tea's the best tea.
Anyway, so back to the episode where this daughter of Diana Rigg is feeding some monster for a little crack at the
A
bottom of the
lovely
door.
monster.
And she has a particular liking to a monster. I think the point is that this particular monster, unlike all the other monsters, hasn't died because of this making embarrassed process, which they seem to be providing for people.
I'm never going to be able to watch it the same again.
Yeah, me too.
And then our friendly mustachioed gentleman turns up back at the house and is met by Strax, and then has a good view of the sky from the pavement.
I love Strax with the fan.
What I do love... Hang on. Where's my phone? Hang on, I've got to do this. The subtitles in this made me chuckle. Hang on. There he goes down. Right. I'm going to get my phone out and take a picture of the subtitle for the bit where he decides he wants to have a look at the
Sky.
The sky. And I'm going to post it on the 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast Facebook group, which you can join if I can find it. There it is.
Well, can you just tell me what it says? Because
I'm not going to tell you what it says because you're just like Kirby. You say you're not, but you are. You're so impatient. And I'm going to done it and post it.
I am
right.
not just like Kirby.
You bloody well are. And there it goes. It's now on the Facebook group. I just love the subtitle for that.
Yes, I do too. I saw the subtitle go by, so I
Was
know exactly what you posted.
Anyway, back to the.
Watch it with subtitles. I listen.
Well, I can't listen to it while I'm doing this.
Actually,
it's quite handy for the
the subtitle
subtitles.
that you posted isn't quite what I expected.
So what were you expecting?
See, I'm not like him.
I was expecting it. Strax says it asked permission to enter, and then it fell over. What are we to make of it? Actually,
No,
the
that's
subtitle
before
he
that.
posted was thud.
Yeah. It's in brackets, thud. Meanwhile, Sweetville, of course, is the place that Diana Rigg is setting up for the Society of Embarrassed People. And lots of people are queuing there, including Jenny. Like I say, this is where we meet... sorry, hiccups. This is where we meet the lady with the sort of teeth that look absolutely great, but just someone's painted them in the middle. I don't know.
In the middle, yeah.
But she bribes her into doing a little fainty act.
Swoon.
Yeah, a swoon.
Guinea for it.
Yeah.
Master?
Which she does a particularly
Master?
good job of, to be fair. Yes.
I just ran my DVD back, and instead of saying thud the way yours does, mine says thudding.
Thud is the correct vernacular. Right then, anyway.
So it's interesting. It's different.
Adams is better. English subtitles compared to American
These are
subtitles.
BBC
Yes, I agree.
subtitles. They're the proper BBC ones. Anyway, so
In
she
fact,
swoons.
You can get the different options. You can get American English or English, and it's like, what do I choose?
Anyway, so with Our Lady fainting, swooning, whatever you want to call it, allows Jenny to sneak into this sort of back room where
Gramophones.
there's lots
The
of
big
massive
gramophones.
megaphones.
That's never explained.
What, the massive megaphones?
Yeah.
Okay. I do like. Do you know what I like about this episode? One of the things I like about it, one thing that just springs to mind at this moment is the steampunk-esque elements of it. I think it's beautifully steampunk, and they've done it so well. It's not over the top steampunk. It's just the right sort of ingredient of steampunk, and that sort of megaphone thing is clearly a steampunk thingy.
Yeah, my interpretation is that they're making it sound like there's a factory in there when there isn't.
Yes.
That's that very Kirby, this is one of those moments you will want to cherish. Well done.
Yay,
I'm highly impressed with that. I haven't
Thank
actually
you,
picked
sir.
up
May I
on
have
that one.
another?
No, you know you can't have another one. Anyway, so
Nice. Of course.
anyway, so
it is.
this stuff that this red stuff that makes them embarrassed is sort of like a venom.
Secreted
But
by
we don't find out
red
immediately what the
all the
venom's from.
time.
And we don't find out actually why. Well, Kirby will tell me. What's the point in why do they kill these men and whatnot and women or with this venom?
It's food, isn't it?
Why do they do this?
No, they're trying to preserve the best of people for when the venom kills everybody. They're going to start a new race of perfect people.
So
It's
are
like
they
a
just
genetic
testing it
type
out
thing.
on people then, or what?
People eaters.
Anyway, Jenny makes her way to the door with the red sort of light in it.
Glow.
And
The red glow.
The what?
The red glow.
The red glow, yeah. And finds the door where the monster gets fed, and there's a bit of banging going on. Didn't know he had it in his. And anyway, she goes in eventually, and it's
I
the
love the way she
doctor.
threatens him.
It's the doctor who seems to be like he's got lockjaw or something like that. He's like, I can't speak or anything like that. And
Eases up the further they walk through the building together.
yeah, he's a bit stiff, isn't he?
Master, one of the things I really like about this episode is it's very entertaining, and we don't see the doctor until 13 minutes into the episode.
That's because we have the or Clara for that matter, Debbie Melrose. Don't see her either.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say anything just yet.
Paternoster. Anyway, so the doctor's out, and he sort of mimes to be put in this machiney thing, and of course this machine-y thing which doesn't get used again, restores him and his clothes back to normal. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's never explained, and it doesn't bother me.
That doesn't bother
I
me
like
either.
the fact that the glow changes because he uses the sonic screwdriver. I love the noise you get of the sonic screwdriver happening in there.
Yeah, no, I haven't got a problem with his clothes or himself just being restored. It's what the machine's there for. I don't understand why it's there, but it is there. Anyway, then we have a little backstory.
This is a science fiction fantasy TV show.
Yeah, whatever. Then we have a little backstory which is made to look like it's on sort of old film.
I like him dip kissing Jenny and getting smacked round the face.
Yeah, I like that too. Typical Doctor inappropriateness, but some people won't because he's kissing somebody. The Doctor's really a Doctor Who fan's not allowed to kiss anybody, but I don't care. It was really good. And then we had a little backstory of embarrassed women lying down dead in mortuaries, and Doctor wearing this rather cool bowler hat, and Clara looking into the eye of the dead person and seeing the image of what the last person she saw was. And then it just basically flips through the bits we missed while we were enjoying 20 minutes without the Doctor or Clara in it. Again, this little sequence is actually done really, really well.
Then they're all
and I will say, apart from being hot, Jenna Coleman is particularly good. When she goes, obviously she's Northern, and she goes over the top Northern for certain parts of the scene when they meet Diana Rigg, which is really, really fab. And she radiates in this episode. And I do love also the fact that the sort of link that the Paternoster people are sort of with the Clara they knew, and the Doctor sort of can't explain at the moment what's going on, you know.
Every time Clara's mentioned or turns up, and they all look at him like they're incredibly worried about.
Yeah. Anyway, there's also a shot of the sort of factory type area with lots of people in sort of white overalls are just about to be dipped all together in this whatever it is.
Master, there is a I don't understand why they are so puzzled because about the mention of Clara saying that she's dead, because he is a time traveler. Yeah. He could have. It just could be a different time in the timeline.
Yeah, but I would have thought that they would think that if the Doctor's going to do something like that would be wrong. Sorry, Debbie, I'll talk right over there, but fortunately I have the master control. Just so. So they get dipped in this red stuff. I will say from that scene, whether you see them getting dipped from above, it doesn't look like the tub is big
long
enough.
Johns and things like that.
Anyway. Oh yeah, Dame Diana Rigg's daughter is a bit worried because and then they get the Doctor, and the Doctor becomes slightly pervy. Not the Doctor, Diana Rigg's daughter, a little bit pervy towards the Doctor. And the Doctor does look a little bit freaked out by the whole scenario.
She's just got a friend, someone who's damaged like her.
It's a bit pervy because she's going up to his face. I know she's blind and whatnot, but she's like touching his mouth, and she's getting very close to his face. Very creepy. And eventually, then we see the scene that we more or less started the episode with, where the gentleman sort of says goodbye to his wife, goes into the room, and then he's dead because he's gone into the room and he
sees the Doctor.
He's been dipped and he sees the Doctor and dies, and that's why we see the image of the Doctor in his eye. Yes.
Aye.
Yeah. God. Just moving on a bit, because at the moment the Doctor's companion is Jenny, and of course then we get to that scene that Debbie loves so much, so I'm going to play a little bit of it.
With no sign of Sweetville, do you have any final words before your summary execution? The usual story. Fourth one this week, and I'm not even hungry.
Sweet.
and then Tom turns up.
Master,
yes?
When this first came out, even then, the whole sat-nav was changing to the point where TomTom was not really the prevalent brand anymore.
No. And I don't think you need them anymore because they're readily available on mobile devices.
Correct.
sat-navs.
I wonder if the
No,
company's
it was
going out of
such a
business.
great little scene. No, not even hungry.
But it's all right for the time. Yes, Tom very amusingly becomes Strax's little sidekick for a bit, while the Doctor has Jenny. And of course, Clara's disappeared at this point. I think that he's now sort of. That's because he says he's trying to find Clara, and
Well, he
but
knows
Clara's
that
dead.
Successful, yeah.
But I also like the fact that obviously the last time they saw Clara, she was dressed, or a version of Clara was dressed in these Victorian clothes, and now they've got a different Clara dressed in the Victorian clothes. I can understand their confusion. Anyway,
They should know that they're in a science fiction fantasy TV show.
yes, Diana Rigg's daughter's absolutely heartbroken because her little monster friend has disappeared, and but it's sort of passed off as nothing by Diana Rigg, and the Doctor and Jenny are still poking around the factory. I'm going to stop there because there's another funny scene coming up. Because stuff coming through on the live feed. Lillian Robin says, I call it Crimson Horror 2. Terry Miles, that note was a photo. Yes, it was. We established this. But thanks anyway. And then the megaphones are to make it sound like a factory making matches. Oh yeah, I forgot about it being a match factory.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was a match factory.
Sorry. So, all right, Terry.
Are you about to play the scene where Strax turns up? Because I've got the script here, and it says, "Enter Strax in his Sontaran armour, firing his honking big gun." Is the line.
No,
honking big gun is in the script.
No, this is the scene I'm going to play.
Well, I'm just telling you that's what I've got written here.
Great attack of the supermodels.
That bit. Did you hear it? Attack of the suit. I'll do it again.
Attack of the supermodels.
This bit.
Oh, great attack of the supermodels. Time for a plan.
So he gets the sonic screwdriver out, and then Jenny says, "Nope, I'll deal with this." And,
this one's on me.
She deals with all the men, and then we're left with all the women. Then they decide to run after that point. And then, of course, I get rescued by Strax in full Sontaran uniform with his
firing
big gun.
I like. Yeah? What I like is that Jenny basically does a Mrs. Peel.
Yes, she does. Oh, God, I'll have to try and make this half a ding.
And dressed in black leather too.
Mm-hmm. The Doctor's eyes definitely pop a minute there.
Yeah, I accidentally had the volume up on that next bit.
Well, it probably reminds me a bit of River, to be honest.
So they find Clara, who's like she's a bit drunk, to be fair, and of course they're still a little bit freaked out by the fact that she's there. But yes, the Doctor essentially could have gone and found her before she died and brought her there, but that's not the sort of thing the Doctor does, to be fair. And they carry on with their digging around, and I just move forward. And there's a rocket. Oh yeah, first of all, there's a great big bottle of this venom stuff, and a tower with a rocket in it. And I do love so Diana Rigg's got a great big organ, fana, and she touches the keys a little bit, and the organ rotates, and then she's got some sort of steampunk rocket control stuff.
Yeah, I love it.
Really cool. And so she's setting up this rocket for launch, and then the Doctor sees his old friend, daughter of Diana Rigg, and then introduces
she still calls him
himself.
Monster all the way.
Yeah. And we move forward a bit more, and I'm just still moving forward a little bit more. Yeah, what have we got here? Oh, it's still that. Oh, yeah. What's her plan with this? She's got this great big bottle of venom. She's going to spray it across the whole world or something like that.
Yeah, and all the perfect people that she's kept are going to populate the Earth.
Oh, okay.
As one does.
What? As one does. Well, she's a Doctor Who villain. What do you expect? Anyway, so Mr. Sweet is the name of her sort of. I mean, Star Trek, these sort of parasites live indoors. Yes. They live indoors, indoors inside the people. And this one, she's sort of it's rather perversely sort of attached to her chest. Yeah, so I'm just moving forward a little bit further. The Doctor tells her off a little bit, but she's not really interested. The rocket, I think, takes off, and Oh, is it Ada, the woman who is blind, daughter of Diana Rigg?
I think so.
Yeah. And so Diana Rigg is telling the Doctor about her evil plan, and then the daughter overhears some of it. And,
her daughter hears basically how she denounces her.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she doesn't take particularly kindly to this, but Mummy tries to say sorry by drawing a gun and pointing it at her head.
He never apologises.
Yeah. And then that's right. Clara gets a chair and hits something with it, some machine with it, with the chair, which initially doesn't impress the Doctor. Then the Doctor realises actually the chair works.
Chairs
just as
are
good as anything
useful.
else. Yes.
Yes.
And and the daughter gets dragged away. So they end up chasing the mother and daughter to this tower thing and climbing up a staircase, and then the daughter gets pushed down the stairs a little bit, and then she starts firing this gun off, missing everybody, thankfully, I suppose. And then she pulls this switch, and off goes the rocket. And nobody can stop me now. That's what she could have said, but she didn't. And then Strax appears at the top of the chimney thingamajig, and he shoots. And then she falls down with a bit of a splat. At the bottom of the thing, and she's still alive at this point, but the Mr. Sweet crawls away, and and then so the daughter comes down, and I think she basically attempts to sort of for an apology, but I think it gets rebuked. I'm going to turn this bit up.
Yeah, she says forgive me, and
she
Ada
more or less
goes
says
never.
no.
I think she's just like, that's my girl. Yeah,
that's my girl. That was good, that bit. I like that.
Yes, it was.
And then I also love the scene, the weird looking creature sort of crawling away, and the Doctor says, I'll have to take him back in time, and then she just squashes it with a walking stick.
Period.
On the other hand.
And that's essentially, they say their goodbyes, and she seems a bit more settled after all this has settled down a bit, and the Doctor and Clara sort of disappear. She says her goodbyes to the Doctor, and she gets a kiss on the cheek.
Another moment.
She seems a bit like a more settled person. I must admit that they still got this great big bottle of venom, the passenger people, which rather looks like that they're just about to hand it to Pennywise and swip it up the other way, because it does look a little bit like a big red balloon but upside down. And off they go. And then, there is one last appearance from our mustachioed friend, who looks at the crowd. Because was it the blind woman? Oh, the TARDIS goes, and he's very, very sensitive. And then Clara arrives back at home with the irritating children, which I suppose
we get more of the irritating children next time.
Yeah, and she managed to let it slip, because they've been searching the internet and finding pictures of her in all sorts of different places.
We have to tell Dad our nanny's a time traveller.
No, it's really childish, isn't it? How childish is that? And then, of course, the one she can't explain is the one of her in the Victorian garb that's not northern. The one in the Christmas special one. She couldn't explain that one. But yeah, I did. It's not their fault. And I think they're probably good actors, but it was a bit irritating. Here's the example.
That our nanny's a time traveller.
Oh, I nearly got that bit right tonight.
Listen. Okay. Or we'll have to tell Dad that our nanny's a time traveller.
Yeah.
That sort of malarkey never worked with me as a nanny, I can tell you.
Well, anyway, it was a bit irritating.
By the way, who took the picture on the sub, and who took the picture in the hide?
So you really needed to see those scenes, did you?
In the sub, but
right.
Who took the picture in the
One of the
hide?
production crew, I expect, Kirby. And do we need to see somebody in those episodes taking those pictures? No.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Because it keeps people like us awake at night.
Right, okay. All right, Crimson Horror then. Crimson Horror. It was just a really good fun episode, to be fair. As I was watching it through, and I was like, sort of getting that, weird feeling you get when you're watching proper Doctor Who. That sort of, this is why I like Doctor Who.
Yes.
It was just It was good, typical old-fashioned Doctor Who villain. For no reason whatsoever, just they're a villain and they just want to be villainous. A crappy little monster, which...
Yeah, that kind of dropped it down a notch for me when we saw Mr. Sweet.
The steampunk of the Doctor Who TV movie was there all the way through this. Absolutely wonderful. A little bit of scene eating as well from certain actors within the production. And Dame Diana Rigg. I mean, what more could you ask for in a Doctor Who episode? This was fab. What do you think of it then, Robert?
I'm a bit different. No, it was okay, but yeah, and I did like, the Strax and he was so humorous. I do like that, and I do quite like the Paternoster gang as a team.
I can feel the butt coming.
It was okay, but yeah, there's nothing to write home about, really.
Which actually for you means it's quite a good episode.
Yeah, Robert's almost become our Ben lately.
Well, there you go.
Is that it? Oh, okay then.
Yeah.
Debbie.
Yes, I loved this one. Absolutely loved this one. This was proper. I mean, Mark Gatiss is obviously a big hero of mine anyway, but because of his writing more than anything, it was just such fun episode of Doctor Who. And I just, the Paternoster gang just steal every scene they're in. And Diana Rigg, just phenomenal. I just adore her. Always have. Been a fan of her since I first saw her as Mrs. Peel. And Rachel Sterling, I first saw her in Tipping the Velvet, and she was amazing in that. And to have them both acting together was just sublime, just being the absolutely horrendous things that Ada says to her mum when she's been helped.
That for me, Debbie, no, I didn't know that. I enjoyed the scene. Debbie, I enjoyed the scenes of them two together anyway, but not knowing that they were mother and daughter. I probably did last time we did the episode, but that has sort of enhanced those scenes for me.
Yeah, because she's there calling her, like, I can't remember, all these weird, wonderful insults as her mum's holding the gun to her head, and it's like, I just wonder if afterwards they're like, sorry, mum.
She must be so grateful she was given the opportunity to do that episode with her mum.
Exactly.
I love the use of the music throughout, but actually the moment the music failed was when we had to sort of cram in Clara's theme. And it just sort of, it's like all stop on the music that had been helping the episode flow.
Jenna Coleman, if you're listening, this is for you.
It just, the pace just went, and then it had to pick up again, and it was like a stop. We've got to shoehorn Clara into this episode quick. It did feel like that, but I really enjoyed it. The costumes, the sets, Strax, obviously, and yeah, I can't fault this as a Doctor Who episode. It was so much fun, and I haven't had that much fun watching Doctor Who for a long time. So yeah, this was definite tonic.
Thank you. And Clara Oswald, if you're listening, this is for you.
You've done that twice now.
I know, one for Clara, one for Jenna.
I think she's infatuated.
Yeah. Anyway, Kirby, what did you think?
Absolutely one of my all-time favorite 11th Doctor stories.
Wow.
It is practically one of the favorites of this entire series. I mean, it is just great, and there's not much more I can say that people haven't already said. And I didn't notice the thing about the music changing because I just enjoy it so much, and it's too bad this great episode is between two absolute horrible episodes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my comment, since I wasn't here last week, about Journey to the Center of the TARDIS, garbage. So there.
What?
Fair enough.
Okay.
Journey to the Center of the TARDIS, which you talked about last week.
Well,
yes,
unfortunately, because we've already done a review on that particular story, by default, you're wrong. Right. Something came up on I've got a message come through and I closed it down. Better make sure it's not important. No, it's Robert. Right. Okay. So it means, Kirby, that we can move on to your favourite part of the show.
Not important.
I was being facetious, Debbie. Facetious is spelled F. Anyway, let's move on. Right.
Okay, let's see. Let me make sure I've got everything. Ian Kirk, I will not read. 3 more comments. Someone's typing a comment very quickly.
Well, you know that is.
So it may come through while I'm doing this. Okay.
Well, you know who the comment's coming from.
I posted a thing showing where Clara's costume has been recycled from other things. Neil James, The Crimson Horror. The Crimson Horror. Brilliant title. Decent episode. Diana Rigg was such a class act. 3 stars out of 5. Terry Miles, it has to said it was all right. And someone is typing a comment.
Yeah, I think we can guess who that
Someone
might
is typing as we speak?
Yes.
Goodness.
You're trying to say it's not you, Robert?
I will interrupt once it comes through.
Okay.
Yes, I will.
Nothing like putting it right down to the wire, eh, guys?
Yeah.
Are we there? Oh, was that a deliberate pause?
That was it. No.
That's all that's on there.
Okay. Well, I can't really complain, can I? Because obviously we haven't had a lot of podcasts out recently.
Robert Haynes just is doing thumbs ups on all of the
What's wrong
comments.
with that?
What a surprise!
Is that all it is?
No, someone is still typing a comment.
No, that's Robert.
Come on, hurry up.
Mate, I'm not typing a comment.
Yeah.
I can't even see where's that they're typing it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not typing a comment, honestly.
Probably Adam. It's probably Adam.
Yeah, of course I've got time to do that, haven't I? No, I haven't got anything to run in the background, like sending feedback to people or anything. Oh, of course, I've definitely got time to do that, haven't I? God's sake. Right, where did I get up to? Right, just because Kirby didn't do his job properly, and that was a really short feedback from the thingies section.
We haven't had a whole lot of feedback.
Well, that's right. Blame the listeners. Yes.
Yes, I will.
It wasn't a very good season. That's right. Or series.
And nothing from a certain. Hang on, let's make sure he hasn't written anything earlier. A certain dressing gown wearer. No. I was a bit disappointed because we had a lovely bit of feedback, including a certain Zach in the last episode, and he's gone from charming bit of feedback to absolutely bugger all. Which means I have to move on to... What do you mean, what? Which means we have to move on to the next... Oh, Deb, I sent you something through, didn't I? Sorry.
Yes, you have. Would you like me to read it?
You might as well do. Fill a gap, won't it?
Okay. 1893, Victorian Yorkshire. By Gormits Grim up north. Must be a Mark Gatiss script. The well-known old octogram trick. It's been used ever since Victorian times. That Victorian gent faints way too easily.
He's got a problem, hasn't he?
He does have a bit of the vapours, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It was excellent to see Dame Diana Rigg alongside her real daughter. Mrs. Gillyflower must be a baddie if she's against people drinking. A match factory which makes a lot of noise rather than an end product. Love the line, hang on, I've got a sonic screwdriver. Yeah, I've got a chair. Who could the gobby Australian be? Poor Tegan Jamanka. Oh, God, no, I'd forgotten the Thomas joke was in this one. Well, it was written by Mark Gatiss.
I was waiting for it. I hadn't forgot. I thought that though it was in the Christmas special. Sorry, carry on.
Will the Doctor ever stop kissing the females? They all get the wrong idea.
Oh, yeah.
Why is it the people under the glass domes were not crimson? Because they survived the process, that's what.
Yeah, exactly.
Only Doctor Who can people stand beside a rocket as it launches and not get burnt to a crisp.
I did sort of think of that, but I thought, oh, what the hell, it's a science fiction
Forrest the
fantasy
Animal in
TV
Men
show.
in Black 3, and that was a science fiction fantasy film show. Next up, Cybermen and Children. Surely nothing could go wrong. Linda and Terry.
Right. Marvellous.
Thank you, Linda and Terry.
Yes, indeed. Well, I'll tell you what, now, because of my expertise in the filling department by getting Debbie to do that bit of feedback, it meant that knowing full well the next bit of feedback was recorded far too quietly, enabled me to open up Adobe Audition, import the said feedback, boost the volume, and here we go.
You kind of...
Bear left for a quarter of a mile, and you'll have reached your destination. Hello,
Start-
20
hang on,
megabyte
whoa,
podcasters.
Well, sorry. I boosted it a bit too much. I do apologise. This is live podcasting, everybody.
fine.
We do this live on Facebook. Let's try that again. I've got this little bit of feedback that won't be edited, by the way.
Bear left for a quarter of a mile, and you will have reached your destination. Hello, 20 megabyte podcasters. It's Mr. M here with some feedback. Unfortunately, I missed last week's episode. I was away and
Not
I
good
forgot.
enough.
But Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS is slightly below par for Doctor Who.
One of Chris Barton's feeble excuses.
It works well if you took the basic plot and extrapolated it onto any spaceship other than the TARDIS, it would be quite a good episode of Doctor Who. But it doesn't really get past the letdown of the promise of exploring the best spaceship in the universe. So I'm probably going to give it about a 6 out of 10.
That's not bad.
Nope.
That's probably
0.
really
We
high.
gave it.
0 is
On to
nonsense, Kirby.
The Crimson Horror by Mark Gatiss.
Haters.
This is great fun. This is really, 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 really good, fun Doctor Who. And if you don't like fun, silly Doctor Who, then this episode is probably not for you. But I do like fun, silly Doctor Who, so I'm very, very happy. This episode feels like it's a backdoor pilot for a Paternoster Gang spin-off, which
It was.
never emerged, at least on TV anyway. Really nice to give Jenny some more stuff to do. Vastra's great. Strax is,
Phenomenal.
he's there for the great comedy beats, and it's actually not as overused as I thought he was. My memory cheated a bit. There's just the right amount of him in this episode. Dinah Rigg is extraordinarily good as a scenery-chewing, hand-wringing villain, and I really love Mr. Sweet, the tiny little parasite that's feeding off of her. Nice little monster design. The Doctor is shunted into the background, but still gets some good moments when he finally arrives in the story. I love when you flash back to see, how the Doctor got into this situation, and you get this kind of sepia tone, sort of coloured, almost like a kind of silent movie-esque footage. That's just a nice little touch. Although the reference to Tegan is a bit odd.
No, it's not.
Know where that came from.
Doctor Who.
But yeah, a big evil complex in Yorkshire with a nice big rocket shooting up into space. I mean, they should all have died when that rocket took off.
Yes, all right.
Jenna Coleman is hot.
Yes.
And it's a shame that the idea of her learning about the Victorian era Clara. First of all, she does learn about it because she sees that picture on Artie and Angie's computer at the end of the episode, and then it's never followed up on. It never goes anywhere. She just kind of goes, "Hey, that's not me," and then doesn't care that there's a picture of someone who looks just like her. Very odd. But there's a lot about Artie and Angie that is very odd. But I really enjoy this episode, full of the usual Mark Gatiss quirks. Any Victorian era story in Doctor Who is generally pretty good, and any episode that's written by him is generally pretty good. Put the two together, and really, really great story. I love it. It's fun. It's silly. I would probably give this, if I'm in a particularly good mood, which I am today, I'd probably give this a 9.
Whoa.
Hey!
Next week, however, even if I was in a good mood, I would struggle to find any word to describe this story other than nightmare. See you then.
Yeah, okay, well, I'll wait and see what happens.
Except we're not doing it
Thank
next
you, no, we're not. No. Thank you, Mr. M. Right, I can quit it. Audition now. I'll do that. Save a bit of memory, won't it? I thought I was going to say about that now. When he was talking about, this Jenna thing that through time and stuff like that, it just reminded me of there was a conspiracy thing that somebody put together on the internet. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, of old photos of people that look exactly like Vladimir Putin, and trying to make out that he has been around various parts of time and space. In the same format, trying to imply he was some sort of weird time traveller or alien. But that just reminded me of the Clara situation. I thought I'd better bring it up, because otherwise I might forget it. Oh yes, we've got more feedback, haven't we? It's unusual for me to say those words.
Let me double check and see if anyone has.
What?
Nope, still someone is typing a comment.
Still?
Somebody's probably sat on their phone.
It's
right.
not me.
I had a thing up ready to play and it's disappeared now. I might
Refresh
have
your page, Kirby.
I might
I just did.
I might have just opened the spam
wait.
folder. Oh God, hang on.
And?
Hey, you're talking to me or Kirby? Right, I'm trying to find me. There we are. All mail. There we go. And it's turned up. So I can now do this.
Hello, 20 Big Back Podcast. This is Ian Kirk.
Hello, Ian.
Yay.
Captain Kirk.
The Crimson HHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHorror comedy with the Paternoster Gang, who never got a spin-off series.
Except on Big
Diana Rigg is from Yorkshire. Rachel Sterling, who plays her daughter, is her real-life daughter.
Oh, is she?
Diana Rigg was famous for playing Mrs. Peel in the British TV show The Avengers.
Indeed.
Her character investigated strange happenings
and wore a very nice
wore a
suit.
black leather outfit and did judo, as Jenny does here.
Excellent.
There's a cliché of Victorian women fainting with shock, but here it is a man.
That's why.
Thomas giving directions is a reference to a sat-nav device called TomTom. Some people would rather be dead than red, but you can be both. Mr. Sweet takes the plot with a pinch of salt. The plot of a missile wiping out humanity, except for a few perfect specimens who will repopulate the Earth, is from the James Bond film Moonraker. In the film, the rocket exhaust was intended to incinerate the heroes, but does not seem to bother them here. Nitpicking. They sing the hymn Jerusalem 20 years before it was written. As far as a time traveller, because there are pictures of a similar young woman from different times, is a bit of a stretch, but this is a fantasy TV science fiction programme.
Wrong.
Yesterday I saw The Exorcist Believer. I did not think much of it, as I do not find horror believable. There is no Paternoster Gang in it. Bye for now.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. That's Ian, everybody. Oh, you're on form today, wasn't he, everybody?
That was brilliant.
Yes. And I had forgotten about the about what was that? I forgot the Jerusalem thing. I remember 10 years ago bringing that up about Jerusalem.
What a surprise! You put
but
it up,
unfortunately, I couldn't remind myself of it because I couldn't listen.
Oh.
Well, he did reference, this is Ian, by the way, he did reference about the sort of myth that Victorian women fainted easily. Well, I somehow feel that they were used to seeing some nasty stuff. It was the Victorian ages. And reading the Peep Stories at the moment, he generally talks about just ambling along to the Tower of London and seeing people being hung, drawn and quartered for killing King Charles I and stuff like that. I think people back then had seen more things like public executions and whatnot. I don't think that the women were likely to faint at things like that, to be fair. But there you go. Yes, sorry, Kirby. Hello? Anybody there?
There's no more... they stopped typing and there's nothing on there.
Oh, who was that then?
Was it you then, Debbie?
Kirby's imagination, probably.
No, it's Debbie, I reckon.
Oh, well, this is interesting. I went to find out what happened to the company TomTom. And although you obviously can't buy a TomTom device anymore, they're the main provider of map data to that inferior company called Apple.
Yeah. The fact that you mentioned it like that, Kirby, means you actually really do think the opposite. So I have two Mac computers at a combined age of 20. They're both still working. Plus me MacBook Air. So 23 years plus Isabella's MacBook Air. So combined years of Apple Macintosh type computers within our house is about 25 years.
Yeah, but
so
you
spent
go. So much money.
Well, not very often, because when you buy one, it lasts for years.
Yeah, I'm still using my my MacBook Air from about 14 years ago.
As well as using my MacBook Air as her MacBook Air, and that computer's about 5-6 years old.
Okay, rub it in, guys.
And the Mac that I'm currently doing the show on...
They don't seem to understand that some of us aren't made of money.
Well, it would make sense, Kirby, to invest in a Mac, then you won't be having to invest in a computer for several years, and you can spend that money on something else. However, this Mac here, the one that I do the show on and everything else, I feel that it's about time I replaced it with a newer model, but this is... What year did we get this one? Quite old, 2015, I think, 2016.
Well, I was definitely on the podcast when you bought this one.
Was I? And were you? Sorry. It's just that I just feel maybe, that...
I remember going around and making appreciative noises when you showed me it.
A faster machine would be... A faster machine would aid my ability to edit videos faster, but it's still pretty good in what it can do. So, and there's enough of the appreciation of Apple Society, but they are bloody good. Doctor Who news. Right. Unfortunately, there isn't much, but all they talk about is the Lucy Wilson mysteries and competition. Candy Jar Books has announced the simultaneous release of the next two instalments of the Lucy Wilson series, available for pre-order exclusively from Candy Jar website. So there you go. That's some books. I'm not entirely sure what the Lucy Wilson stories are, but I presume there's some sort of Doctor Who connection.
No, there is. I think it's like... I can't remember. It's got something to do with Brigadier, though.
Brigadier?
I was going to say, is it a unit one?
Oh, I don't know.
They do unit and what's name's Brigadier, as well as like Downtime. They did a sequel to Downtime and other ones.
Which Brigadier are you talking about?
Lethbridge Stewart.
Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart.
Okay.
They may have done Bambera as well, I don't know.
Yeah, I love
You're
her.
probably right. Anyway, so moving on, because there's not much on the line of Doctor Who, although there's been plenty of little video things going out about next year's Christmas special being recorded by Shooty Gataway in a kilt. And they've been quite...
That wasn't him in a kilt, that was his
behind
double.
the scenes. What?
His double looked very like him then.
No, it was him.
There are pictures of him from actual pictures.
Yeah, in a
it
kilt.
was him.
Yeah,
there was a video on TikTok, somebody who happened to be around filming naughtily with their phone while he did a scene in a street for that next year's Christmas special, like I say. And of course, we're rapidly approaching the actual broadcast of the 60th anniversary special. So, as far as FantasyCon goes,
still trying to wrap my brain
every
around
time
the
I
fact that
try
it's
and
been 10
mention the word FantasyCon, somebody interrupts me. Right, let's see if I can deduct a point. We're not doing that anymore.
What you pay us for.
Quiet, he's going to announce.
Not announcing anything, I'm just saying that
You get
there's
paid.
2 weeks to go. As we record, 2 weeks to go. By the time this goes out, probably finished and done and dusted several years ago.
Yeah.
But
So good. Why are you
Did you get my T-shirt measurement?
probably. Yeah, I think I did. I sent it to
Probably.
Roy. I think Roy was saying that basically they're trying to give people T-shirts for the event and then get them back again and revamp them for if we did another one. So I don't think there's a case you can keep them. I've got I've got a polo shirt from last year which we can't use because it's got a Wessex. It's not my decision, but we want to. I think it saves the earth, doesn't it, to recycling T-shirts. Anyway, so yes, we've got your sizes. Thank you. But yeah, so still waiting to hear back from a couple of people that the agents are a bit slow on. But We did after getting our heads together a little bit at one of our near to last meetings, and I really wanted to get a Doctor Who guest because it originally was supposed to be a Doctor Who style convention, but that seems to have gone out. The trouble is when you add people to a committee that don't like Doctor Who, it's only me and Roy now, so we're getting outvoted all the time.
You do know that I'm more than happy to join a committee and help you.
I know you are, but you're not going to because it would be voted no. Unfortunately, like I say, me and Debbie would be versus Mick and Roy, and that would be the end of that vote. It's not my fault. I get the casting vote when everything's tied. But anyway, no.
No, I'm not allowed on it, Kirby. I just turn up and talk about the podcast.
That's what you're good at. No, I think anyway. What was I talking about? Oh yes, Doctor Who. No. Yes. So anyway.
You wanted a Doctor Who, another Doctor Who.
Initially, yes, but it's not going to happen now.
You lost one.
We've grown out of. No, we haven't. Who did we lose? Oh, Kai. He was never in Doctor Who. Kai Owen was never in Doctor Who, so I haven't lost one.
Yeah, but he was in Torchwood, so it's quite
irrelevant. He was. Oh God, hang on! I opened up the wrong file. I got a lovely message off Valile.
I'll get Tom to look after her. Those two were giggling away like idiots last time.
I thought I got another job for Tom, but I can't remember who it was now. I know it wasn't anything to do with tech or anything, but
thank God
something came to mind that I thought, Tom, I like doing that. We'll find out later off when we actually get everybody together at the event and distribute people. Anyway, so yeah, Valile. We eventually arranged a conversation over the phone, but I think last time I met her, I went to give her money to get back home with, and instead of saying, "Oh, there you go, Valile, thanks for coming, here's your money, bye," it was a case of, "Oh, hello," and it was just, she's one of these people, you just start talking. She should be on this show. You talk about a subject, and you want to talk about one subject, you end up talking about a completely different subject that's not related to the subject you're supposed to be talking about. So we were supposed to be talking about. We were supposed to be talking about getting.
Sounds like the podcast.
Yeah, we were supposed to be talking about her getting to the event. What we actually end up talking about is the other job she's got at the moment. Her potentially going with her other half to visit some family of his somewhere in the world. And other things, of dementia and things like that. But eventually we did sort of talk about she's coming, but we're going to have another conversation hopefully about narrowing there's not much time left, exactly how she's going to get to the event. That is going to happen. She's quite happy about staying in Roy's Love Shack as well. Especially after I said that Simon Fisher Becker and his husband stayed in that Love Shack for the last event, and they absolutely adored it. So Valile's almost certainly coming. And of course, we had to replace Kai, and it was discussed that my opinion was that Harry Potter was not particularly popular at the moment. And I was corrected, apparently, that Harry Potter is still exceptionally popular at the moment.
Absolutely.
And what?
It is very popular still, regardless of what you're thinking
the
about.
evidence to this, apparently, was the fact if you can't book to go into the Warner Brothers studios tomorrow or for the next few weeks because it's completely sold out, and it remains to be so for quite a while. So on the back of that, the opportunity to get Chris Rankin appeared, and it was taken. And Chris very happily agreed to come to the event. And the good thing, of course, doing it so late means that he's fairly unlikely to cancel. So that's going to be quite good fun. Also, we've got two Percy Weasley wands. And for anybody watching on or watch my TikTok account, you'll notice the sorting hat. What I have is the sorting hat here, which will be just a little bit of fun for the kids at the event. They can get sorted into their houses. So, Slytherin. No, I already got sorted into Slytherin many years ago,
I got sorted into Ravenclaw.
Oh well, never mind. Can't help. I think Isabella was in Ravenclaw.
Yeah, she and I are Ravenclaws. We're quite happy about it.
But yeah, everything's in play. I'm now at the stage now that I've sort of caught up with the work I needed to catch up with, and for the next couple of weeks can devote most of my spare time to doing the finishing touches to the event. So I've now got to announce all the traders, make sure that all the activities we've got there are.
Have you cleaned all the Lego?
We've got the Snacks and Ladders coming along to do board game. We've got Dungeons and Dragons guys.
I'm looking forward to that. Isla's looking forward to that, actually. I'm going to be at the table.
The Joker Squad is what I'm most excited about, because there's a couple of things when I've done events in the past that it's a big achievement for me if I actually manage to pull it out the hat and it happens. One was getting Colin Baker for the first one. That was quite an achievement, because I pulled a few strings to get that to happen, with the help of Colin, of course. And I know last time, I'll have to think back on last time, but maybe it was Clive Mantle. But for this one, there's two things that if it actually comes off a bit, I'll be so amazingly thrilled about. One is getting Elodie Orkin to actually come, and she turns up, and I've got her on the island. She's doing the event. So sometimes you think, it's not going to happen until you actually see them there. And the other one is the Joker Squad.
Ida is very excited about Craig Fairbrass being there.
Oh, that'd be quite an achievement as well. But
I think One Piece was phenomenal, and he's brilliant.
I haven't seen that yet, but I know it does rather look like Craig is coming, because I've been he's given me a number plate to book into Red Funnel, so I'm fairly. I don't want to sort of catch my, count my chickens, but I'm more confident about Craig because we've actually got to the stage that he's arranged his sort of transport here, than Elodie, who's got a bit of the agent's a bit awkward, shall we say. So we'll see what happens with them. But if both of those, if Elodie turns up and I've got the Joker Squad, we've got them, they've actually got their own exclusive dressing room, which was really, really good to get. We're going to save money by not having a stage, because Medina were trying to charge an absolute fortune just to have a little stage put up. So we're going to charge for the stage pieces and for the crew to put it up. So we're not having that. We're just going to have it on the floor.
I was just going to say, why don't we just bring our own pieces and set it up?
Master?
Yes.
I'm looking at the fantasycon.net webpage. Do you not spell fairy Ferry?
Snot.
Oh, I knew it was going to be a spelling question.
Spell fairy, did it say?
What?
Fairy spelled Ferry. Why?
Because there's right under tickets available now, click here. Red Funnel Ferry Farry offer, click here.
Oh yeah, so it does. I think we know that's a typo, don't we, Kirby? And you're so pleased with yourself.
Possibly you should correct the typo.
You're so pleased with yourself for finding that, aren't you? He's been saving that up. He's been saving that up for weeks, and he waits till 2 weeks before. Couldn't bump me over a message to say, by the way, there's a typo on your, a rather glaring typo. I know what I'll do. I'll wait until we're virtually too late to amend it.
Well, I'm surprised the Red Funnel didn't correct it.
I would. Well, maybe they're busy, Kirby, like some people are, perhaps. Anyway, right, we move on to what we watched this week. Right, so
anything on the feed, on the live feed?
Oh, on the live feed. Let's have a look. Well, we've got. Oh my God! Well done, Kevin. Quite a ding for that. Reminded me of that one after distracting me by typos on the FantasyCon page. Right, let's see what we've got coming through. Certainly not Alan T. Butcher, so somebody needs to rectify that somewhere along the line.
I have contacted him. I'll talk to you after we're done.
Talk to me? Oh, I've got stuff to do, Kirby.
No, all of you.
Oh, no. Anyway, you've spoken to Alan T. Butcher?
Yes.
Okay, we'll find out later. Right, so... Tim Drury says, red is the colour, apparently. And Lillian Robbins said, the 20 megabyte Mac podcast, indeed. So can I go back to what I was going to do? Oh, yeah, what we watched this week. That's what we're going to do, won't we? What I've watched this week, a new series of Married at First Sight UK, which is not quite as good as the Australian version, but still pretty good. Loki episode 1 went out, and that was really, really fab.
Yet.
And what? What did you say?
No, I said I haven't seen that episode yet.
I'm not going to say I'm not Kirby. I'm not going to say what's in the episode apart from maybe.
It's not a spoiler. He just tells you what he's watching for about 2 hours.
It's fab to have it back. It's fab to have it back and to see some familiar faces from the world of British TV, or a particular familiar face who was also
I've
in...
heard mixed thoughts about it, though.
What's that series with David Tennant and Michael Sheen? It's the one that Neil Gaiman wrote.
Good Omens.
Yeah, she's in the second series of that, and she's also in this. So you'll know who I'm talking about when you see it. But yeah, it's fab to have Loki back. It's got a degree of comedy in it as well. And yeah, it's good fun. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Am I allowed to say that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. Also been watching a fab series on BBC Two, I think it's BBC Two, about the life and art of Pablo Picasso. Absolutely fascinating programme. That you can see all his best paintings and how he develops as an artist and his life as a person as well. You couldn't get a much better series of documentaries about a real person than that. And also I've been watching some YouTube stuff about Giuseppe Garibaldi, because one of my in my family history thing, one of my great cousins, or whatever they're called, had an incident with Garibaldi, which was quite interesting, and obviously he was a massive admirer of Garibaldi, and I thought, what is this Garibaldi? Who is he? Why was he admired by so many young Victorian men in the mid-Victorian age? So that's why I watched that. That was quite interesting as well. Sorry, you trying to say something, Deb?
Yeah, you keep going on about biscuits. I'm hungry now.
Oh, very funny. Other thing, watch is a series that I love with all my heart. Strictly Come Dancing. Strictly Come Dancing is Saturday night event television for us in this house. We will gear our whole evening around the opportunity to sit down, enjoy Strictly Come Dancing, and then turn the volume up after Deb starts falling asleep. Because for some reason, when it's something she really, really wants to watch, at some point during that thing, she will fall asleep. I'm a bit like that with Match of the Day, but I partly blame Match of the Day because it's 10:30 in the evening. I'm usually going to be falling asleep at that time anyway. What else we've been watching? I've recorded the Graham Norton show with a view to watch it at some point. And there's a thing called the Portrait Artist of the Decade, which I haven't watched yet. We're supposed to be talking about things we're going to watch rather than things we haven't watched. And I haven't had a chance to pick up Young Sheldon yet, or continue it. And I've watched episode 1 of, is it We Are Wrexham? It's
We Are Wrexham.
Is it We Are Wrexham? Episode 1 of series 2. We watched that during Din Dins today. So that's more or less what I've been watching this week. Oh yeah, Murder on CCTV and Murder.
You love that, don't you?
Brilliant programme.
He does love that, yeah.
Which is on Discovery Plus and Quest Red or something like that. So that's what I've been watching this week. What about you, Deb?
Oh, more Python as usual. Quite a bit of rugby. Yeah, I'm definitely going through a full Python renaissance here, and I've introduced finally started Young Sheldon again, but with Isla, and she is binging it. She adores it. What else have I been doing?
Don't know.
Well, obviously watching Doctor Who. I've watched a few classic episodes as well, because why not? You know, they're there.
Of course.
Sorry?
Of course.
Of course, yeah, exactly. I haven't got my phone with me, so I can't go through what I have been watching all over the shop. But literally, it's just been, I've been watching Python, I've been reading, doing a lot of reading, and I'm reading about 7 different books, so I'm not going to go into...
Oh, my goodness.
You got some time on your hands.
There's one Austen on the go. There's always one Austen on the go. But, yeah, other than that, there's just a variety, and I read a lot. And... yeah, mainly it's been Python and rugby again this week, so staple TV for me this week.
Comfort.
Oh yeah, and Ahsoka, obviously. There you go.
Oh
yeah.
Haven't started Loki yet. Anybody started Loki yet?
Me. I told you I'd started Loki.
Adam.
Were you not listening to that bit?
I was also rummaging through a jewellery box, so I do apologise.
But you told off Kirby for... Oh, never mind. You said about... We were talking about not spoiling it, and you backed me up on it, so you must have known I was talking about it.
Yes, and then I forgot, so there you go. I'm not infallible, it's been a week.
Silence in the library. And then you forgot.
7 days.
What I did forget, actually, because obviously with Kirby, I don't know when he's on the show, and he isn't these days. It's really weird. But I don't know, did I mention a while back, Kirby, that I watched a rather interesting documentary called The Peter Sellers, The Dark Side of the Goon, which was basically a biography of Peter Sellers.
You have not mentioned that.
What a program that was.
I've heard of it. I have not seen it.
It was good, was it?
Hour and a half of absolute brilliance. Again, great documentary, great biography of Sellers, and obviously which contains interviews that he's done over the years.
He's amazing.
Have you seen it, Deb?
Yeah, I've seen it.
It's
yeah,
really
that's
good,
another thing I watched last week.
Really, really good. And another really good documentary was on BBC Two in September called Jack the Ripper, The Case Reopened, in which they really do a good job of almost certainly finding the actual Jack the Ripper for the very compelling evidence.
I saw a documentary from a couple of years ago like that.
But this one is very compelling because it makes sense. As to
but the one that I saw,
and it's nothing to do with any royalty or anything, because the royal person who was
no, it was talking about this mad guy. He actually went to a psych.
Yeah, that might be the same bloke. We've definitely worked it out. Well, they have on that programme anyway. But it's really well done because they recreate crime scenes and get proper detectives who are really, really well known because they're on other TV.
That's what they did in this show that I watched.
And it's presented by.
They're doing another one.
Amelia Fox. Is that the same one? Amelia Fox.
I can't remember. This was like from a couple of years ago. I don't think it was BBC though.
Okay. I've forgotten who I've asked.
Yeah, I found it really good because, as you're saying, it took people and they actually recreated like the scenes and they examined it really sensibly rather than saying,
all the physical evidence, the evidence of the neighbourhood, where the psychological evidence in regards to where they thought that the killer might have lived within a certain circular area of the murders, and various other things. Brilliantly done. And also some eyewitnesses who actually saw the murderer, whose description matched the person who they think actually did it. Very, very good series. Not series, sorry, episode. Right, the other thing we watched. We're on to Kirby now, aren't we? Sorry. Didn't miss anything. There was a programme on Channel 5 about Osborne House. Well, anyway, Kirby, have we done Robert and Debbie? Because I've completely lost.
We haven't done Robert yet.
No, we've done you and me.
Oh, then we need to do. Hang on, because I would go on, Robert.
Nice.
Have you guys seen the new Mission Impossible movie?
Nah.
No.
I watched it last night. Very, very good.
I need to watch Barbie though.
Mark Gatiss actually has a little role in it.
What is it? Ciabatta or maybe a seeded.
Oh my goodness.
What?
He played it. He played a character in it.
Right.
So that was surprising to actually see him on there, but I just thought it related quite nicely to what we watched. What's that?
Wolf Hall, the dramatisation of the book Wolf Hall. Mark Gatiss is in that as Bishop Gardner. He's fantastic.
Oh. I think he's getting better as he's getting older.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Big fan.
What else was in? I've gone through all series of Bread. Do you remember Bread?
Yes, the Scousers that used to sit around the dinner table and stuff a chicken with money.
Yeah, I watched all 8 series of that over the course of a month. Quite enjoyed that. Trip down memory lane. What else? Just the usual kind of stuff. Survivor, The Amazing Race, all the lovely things. What was it? My Kitchen Rules. I watched that as well. That finished off.
Yeah. Well, Deb rules our kitchen.
And The Traitors.
I love that
Canada
series.
Has just started.
Really? Is that on the BBC? Oh, I'm going to have to check.
Canada have got one. Cool.
Oh, yes. I'm going to have to check iPlayer because it's a BBC series that they just rent out, isn't it? They might have to stop doing Doctor Who because they make enough money out of Traitors.
Well, they actually did the Australian series before they did the UK series.
Yeah, but I don't think Claudia Winkleman does the Australian series. It's some bloke that was in some Australian stuff. I don't know who he was. The bloke.
But the Canada one just started this week.
Right, now I've got to have a
Do
look
you
on
mean by
iPlayer.
some Australian stuff to English people that means Neighbours or Home and Away?
No, I don't think he was. Do you know who it was that did the Australians?
Neighbours is back.
Yeah, Neighbours is on Amazon. It's been bought back by Amazon.
Yeah.
Going somewhere else though, isn't it? Yeah.
Is it?
I heard it was already on the move.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure where, but
Guy Pearce is still in it, which surprises me because he's a bit of a Hollywood name, isn't he, Guy Pearce?
I think
carry
they're just
on, Robert.
wrapping up
Carry on,
some-
Robert, please. Carry on.
Oh, I think that's about it. Besides, I went through season 17 of Classic Who on the Blu-ray. That is the Blu-ray set. I got the season 20 set, and the new version of Five Doctors. They look like they've really cleaned it up nicely.
Cool.
Oh, so now there's going to be 3 versions of the Five Doctors.
Yes, that's true.
Great.
But it probably looks the best that it's ever looked.
Oh,
as
I've
long
just
as
remembered.
they kept the triangle and not the swirly type.
No, this time it looks like a pepper pot, an actual pepper pot. it's different again.
Oh no!
Yeah, it looks like Mr. Whippy won the this 95 version, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
What else? I pre-ordered the Underwater Menace animation.
I have too.
$60.
$60?
Yes.
That's not what I paid.
No, Universal have stopped distributing the DVDs and Blu-rays here, so I have to order it online.
Oh man!
Mind you, because I had to do that with the season 9, the Pertwee set. Universal didn't tell anybody that they were dropping out of doing it. I think because they had they had a Colin Baker set and a McCoy set, and obviously they don't sell as well as the more popular Doctors. So they thought, we've got bad sales of that. We won't bother releasing the Pertwee set. And so people would have done what I did and order online. And then Universal say, we are going to release the season 9 set after all. And it was only released about 3 weeks ago. It's been out for months. And I still see lots of copies there. So it obviously hasn't sold. So I think their plan didn't work very well. So I have to order online now.
That sucks.
My Underwater Menace, which obviously hasn't shipped yet, is costing me $27.
Yeah, but you're getting the DVD, aren't you?
Adam, did you just have a cramp?
Yeah.
No, I had a shock moment has just occurred that's just jumped out of me and made me sort of, that was a genuine shock moment. Sorry.
What? Kirby's saying $27.
No, it's not that. No. Something's come through on the live feed that's made me start and nearly choke on whatever I've got on my chest. I've probably woken the wife up now doing that.
Go on then, what was it?
Alan T. Butcher says,
yes, Mr. Butcher.
hello
Alan T.
all.
Butcher?
I had intended to contribute tonight. Oh, but unfortunately my 95-year-old father went on a trip in the garden and has ended up in a plate screwed into a broken hip today. Oh dear. That's a pretty good excuse. Listen, Reese, that's how you do an excuse.
Yeah.
Those
Exactly.
are Dad's Falls, Alan T. Butcher.
Best wishes, Alan.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. But thank you. That deserves a ding. I mean, just for writing in under those circumstances. So you don't have to tell us anything later on, Kirby. Oh, sorry. Did you finish, Robert? Sorry, I just need to get my breath right then. I did forget something that I think was worth mentioning. The beautiful Stacey Dooley has a series on BBC Two. It's a third series, in fact, of DNA Family Secrets, which is fab.
So we always have to go back to what Adam's watching after everybody else.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot. I was just looking on
I
there.
haven't said what I've watched.
Hang on a second. I was just looking on
No,
the.
you have to go back to Adam and then he'll ask.
No. I was looking on iPlayer for the Canadian version of The Traitors. Hopefully they can pronounce the word traitors, unlike the Australians, of course. And then I just realised that DNA Family Secrets was on there, which I watch religiously. It's an absolutely superb programme. Kirby, what have you been watching?
2 weeks ago, we finished Andor, finally.
Finally, what did you think?
Show.
What did you think?
Yeah. Oh, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I don't know why I had been turned off by the idea of watching it a year ago.
I think a lot of people, because they heard it was going to be more serious, they didn't want to know, but it was wonderful.
Yes.
I thought it was one of the best ones.
Absolutely. But I haven't started Ahsoka yet.
Oh, that's wicked. You got some fun to look forward to.
Because
I'd say that was disappointing for me.
And we probably won't watch that until we finish Loki, which we started. And I loved the first episode.
You're allowed to watch both, you know.
Yeah, we're waiting to finish. We've got the last episode of Ahsoka, and then we're starting with Isla Loki.
Well, I do. Friday evenings are my watch with the Geek Daughter. So that's when we do things.
Sounds like a TV program. Watch with
the Geek. Yeah. That's when we schedule. That's when we schedule watching stuff. Yeah, well, I'll see if I can get her next week after we watch Loki to start on Ahsoka. Yeah, and I did not realize that the actor who played Short Round in Indiana Jones was going to be on.
Kwan.
Yes, I didn't realize he was going to be in Loki. I had not seen any trailers.
I'm not being funny, but you weren't no spoilers there at all, was there, Kirby?
No, there was no spoilers.
I already knew that, so it didn't
Yeah, that is
Everybody
not a
in the world knew that because he was in the trailers.
Everybody in the world knew it. Everybody in the world, apart from me and Deb and Isabella. So
me.
everybody in and you apparently. Okay.
Okay. Let's see. I've been watching this.
You're proved wrong, Kirby.
I've been watching a few selected episodes from this little 1960s non-superhero thing called The Avengers.
Excellent. You watched the Emma Peel ones, did you?
Specifically, the Diana Rigg ones. Because she's
I'm still on a Blackman.
You realise she was in my favourite James Bond film, On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Yeah, I love that, On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Cracking film.
And a couple weeks ago, practically every weekend, I go out with my oldest daughter to thrift stores, and I keep a spreadsheet available on
thrift stores.
Huh?
Do you keep a spreadsheet on your?
No,
so he knows what he's looking for.
Of movies and TV shows that are not available either streaming or and are very difficult to find in physical media.
Yeah.
Like almost impossible. You can't.
That's a good
if
idea.
If you go out like on Amazon, the prices are so astronomical. Forget about it. And we hit a new thrift store we'd never been in before.
New thrift store?
A new thrift store we had not been in before, and I scored 3 things on my list, which was amazing. And now these may be available for streaming in another country. I don't know, but
they're not in your country, so it counts as a big win.
Right. I got a great copy of Roger and Hammerstein's The King and I.
Oh, I love that film.
I've got that.
Absolutely love that.
I had such a crush on Yul Brynner, it was unreal. And then I saw him as Ramses in Ten Commandments, that was it.
Yep. A 1968 TV series from my childhood. Saturday mornings were sit down in front of the TV and watch.
Wouldn't that have been the 1920s? Sorry, Kirby.
No,
you're stone 40.
Very, very good, Robert.
Hanna-Barbera's Wacky Races.
One of my favourites of all time.
Yeah, so I've got
double
that,
tracked.
and that is not out there anywhere. Apparently it's on Boomerang, but I don't have Boomerang.
Yeah, it's on Boomerang.
But I'd rather, and then
And
here's...
Stop the Pigeon.
Oh, no,
yes, I remember that. But
That's Doubtedly a Muttley,
first
that one.
was Wacky Races. And then the Adventures of Penelope Pitstop.
Captain Caveman.
No,
But
no,
then
that was
I
all right.
found
Not
a
as good
movie
as Wacky
which
Races.
is, for some reason, it's never been on streaming. It was only on physical media for a short time. There are apparently rights issues with it. I found the special edition of Dogma.
Oh, I love that film.
Yeah, isn't it great?
Dogma, I am.
I'm a huge fan of them.
Yes,
Meeting Brian Hallahan, the first con I went to, was with Adam, was just brilliant.
Yes, that was at
this
Island Con 1.
is a special edition with 2 discs. I haven't watched it yet, but I've been looking for this for years. So that's what I've got lately.
That's splendid.
Chasing Amy was quite hard to find in this country for a while, but seems to be available now.
Do you know what's quite hard to find in this country? I, Claudius, and Edward the Seventh, 2 series from the 70s.
It's just been shown on Beeb again.
That's it. What has?
Yeah.
And
what has?
And I've got I, Claudius on DVD.
Oh, I might have
I
to watch
grabbed
that.
it, call it by its name.
What a cast in that particular drama.
yeah.
Eh? Anyway, you're talking about
There's a doctor in that, you know.
Yeah, we're talking about The Traitors, and
The Traitors.
The new series, the Canadian one, isn't on there. The second series, the Australian Traitors, isn't on there. Maybe they're waiting for the UK second series to come out. But there is The Traitors US, the reunion, which I haven't watched yet. I might have to indulge. But yeah, no.
I don't think I've watched.
Does any of you see the Comic Relief Traitors special at all?
I have.
I haven't.
Oh.
I don't even know what it is.
Oh, be
so
quiet.
there.
Well, just stay out of the conversation, and Kurt.
Okay, I will.
When was that?
Hey, what's what? The Comic Relief. The Traitors. It's a spoofy sketch thing about.
No, when was it?
During Comic Relief, whenever that was. Well, March, April,
June.
A while back.
June, I think it was.
Did you call me June then? How dare you? My name's
I called you June, yeah.
I would have liked that.
Anyway, right then, I don't know how
Right,
this
June.
episode's gone on.
It's on the
hang on,
Comic
Andy
Relief,
Nanny commented
YouTube,
on my
Yes,
photo.
and you can see it on YouTube. It turns up quite a lot on Facebook as well. If I see it again, because it turns up all the time, I'll tell you.
I just remembered something else that I've been watching.
Oh,
I'm continuing to go through The Prisoner rewatch.
Ah, excellent.
What, the latest one or the...
No, that
Patrick
remake
McGowan.
was one of the worst things ever made.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about The Prisoner, the number 6.
The excellent Patrick McGowan.
1960s.
Excellent, yeah.
Mainly because I've been following along the Prisoner podcast, which who's doing that? It's part of the guy who founded the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.
A friend of mine goes to... why can't I never remember the name of the place they filmed that when I'm trying to talk about it? That's it, yeah. A friend of mine goes every year to their special Prisoner event. I would like to go.
And one thing on their podcast, which they call it By Hook or By Crook, is that they talk every week. They ask their guest, whenever they have a guest, their guest they call number 3. They ask their guest for, who do you know? Who did you spot in this episode of The Prisoner that was in Doctor Who? Because they are both of these guys are mainly Doctor Who fans. And it's always fun to see who there is. I'm watching along, trying to figure out myself. But I was just looking through. Speaking of I, Claudius,
I clap dibs.
I, Claudius.
No, I clap dibs.
And I'm looking through this cast list, and I'm going, spot the Doctor Who actor would be incredible with I, Claudius. I even see Professor Chronotis.
It's a blooming British TV production. What do you expect?
Yeah.
Professor Chronotis
is in here. Give us a chance.
Yeah. Right, so So I'll say nothing next week, but the fact I've put out 3 episodes in one day, plenty to listen to in the interim, and hopefully.
What about I think you should be too tired after. Oh wait, you're going to put out highlights of FantasyCon, and we are doing a live show.
Potentially going to do that. I don't know yet.
Well, are we doing a live show that day or not?
I would say.
Don't make him make a choice yet. We'll see how knackered we are.
I think sensibly, I think the 29th is the most logical thing. I still think we're going to be winding down from FantasyCon in regards to trying to sort of recharge a little bit. I have actually got the week off, so I think that it's quite the whole process, from organising it to stressing about selling tickets to stressing about paying people to stressing about doing the event and actually realising you're at an event that you liked going to but you can't really absorb as an event because you're supposed to be organising it or whatnot. It takes quite a lot out of you, and I've got a funny feeling that Sunday is going to be a day of to
be honest, if it's
sleeping.
any help, I probably won't be up for doing the recording. But if I am, I'll let you know.
I wouldn't blame you guys.
I'm thinking.
I think that we shouldn't do it that day.
It's alarmingly knackering just turning up and talking about the podcast for the day, so I don't know. So poor Adam.
I think likely what I'm thinking of doing.
One of the reasons why I don't like you coming up with the idea of the last minute that we would record is that I would need to know at the last minute to ask to post something on Facebook.
Don't worry, we'll let you know in advance.
I'm going to say, the actual next recording we're going to do is on the 29th, but what I'm going to be doing in the days after FantasyCon is putting together the probably the stuff that was recorded on the stage bits, potentially, into a sort of FantasyCon special regarding nobody apart from Billy Lay, who was in Doctor Who. But anyway, so that's what we're politely to do. That's the plan, and then we'll do a live show again.
Does he about it?
What did you say, darling? What did you say?
You never answered my question where I go, can I vox pop again? I obviously did so badly the last time. You don't want to know.
Vox pop? What do you mean vox pop? What's that?
Well, you go around asking people about their con and what they're dressed as, and, you know.
When did you last do that?
Con before last.
Oh, well, you can do if you like. I've got a recording device available somewhere. I think
there you go.
I think there's one in the boot. My Zoom device. I told you about my Zoom device. It doesn't matter if you just use the one on its own. It's perfectly adequate for recording. In fact, it's a very high quality. I think they were £300 when I bought mine. I got mine in the Maplin sale because Maplin was closing down for about £100. So it's a really good one, but hardly ever use it.
Really good.
Just remind me. I'll probably forget. Anyway, if you have one, you can always use your phone. You could record with the memo thing on your phone and then just send them to me.
Yeah, I could do that, yeah.
Right, so until next time, thank you for listening, watching, taking part in the show. I'll just make sure nobody's posted anything else. Nope. Goodbye!
Goodbye, Fancy Pants.
Scarecrow.
I'm going to play with my grenades.
Yes.
The 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast is an APV Services production, sponsored by whowon.co.uk and lavazi.co.uk. We are proud members of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance. Doctor Who is a trademark of the BBC. No copyright infringement intended. The music on this podcast is covered by limited online music license from PRS for Music. License reference LE0030512.